special for you in this video. We are making my special sauerkraut. I competed with this recipe on a Thanksgiving Family Feast Challenge on Foodnetwork in 2010 and won. With a delicious dish like this, you need to make a lot. Trust me, your family will love it. So we're going to start with 6 pounds of the sauerkraut. A half a head of a fresh cabbage, about 1 package of smoked bacon, some black pepper, Hungarian paprika, garlic, bay leaves, 1 medium onion, and some chicken broth, which we will add a little bit later. Okay, here we go with bacon. Do you hear it sizzle? That's what we want. And we're going to let bacon cook until it's nice and brown and until it releases all the good fats. While bacon is cooking, we're going to rinse sauerkraut. We have 6 pounds of sauerkraut here, and you have a choice of purchasing just a large container or just a 6 individual 1 pound sauerkrauts. But in any case, the sauerkraut needs to be rinsed just to get extra salt and extra sourness out of it. So just rinse it and then just let it drain. Bacon is cooking, sauerkraut is draining, so we're going to move on to fresh cabbage. As I said, we're using a half a head of fresh cabbage, and we're just going to shred it. And I used this old shredder that I brought back home. That's going to work. Or if you don't have a shredder, just use a knife and cut your cabbage like this. In any case, we want to have strings like this, so it looks like a sauerkraut. Bacon looks just perfect. It's time to add onions. Here we go with onions. And we said 1 medium onion. Or actually large would be fine too, but this is enough. Okay. And next thing, we're going to add a cup of olive oil. And some of you might wonder and say, well, there's already enough oil in a pot, but you cannot make a sauerkraut without good fats. So we will be adding a little bit more oil to this. So before we do, I'm going to let onions cook for a little while. Okay, onions are almost cooked, so I'm just going to add 5 to 6 cloves of garlic. And I always have some fresh garlic ready in my fridge. And I'll tell you a funny story. Next time you have your friends come for dinner, before you serve them dinner, put a big pot of fresh garlic in the water and let them peel garlic for you. And next time when you cook, you'll be ahead of the game. Onions are turning golden brown. Now it's time to add garlic. And we're going to mix it really well. Let garlic fry for about 2 or 3 minutes. Then we're going to add more oil. This, my friends, smells heavenly. Is there anything better than a good bacon, onions and garlic together? Okay, garlic had a chance to fry, so we're going to add the additional cup of olive oil. Let the oil heat up really good. Bring the temperature back again, and then we're going to add fresh cabbage. Before I do add cabbage, I'm going to add a cup of pearl rice. And the reason we are adding rice, it's very simple. Rice will absorb all the moisture in a sauerkraut, and also this particular kind of rice that we use, which is a pearl rice, it easily cooks and it kind of turns creamy, and I want things to be creamy. So sauerkraut with a combination of the fresh cabbage and the rice would really be nice and creamy once we're done. Here goes fresh cabbage. We're going to let that cook maybe for about 5 minutes or until it just becomes a little bit soft. Once we put the sauerkraut in a pot, we're going to need some chicken broth. And we're going to need it probably about 4 to 5 cups, but you can just use a store-bought chicken broth. All right, we're ready for sauerkraut. And it's really well drained. Okay. And then we're going to cook it on a stove top for probably another 15 minutes or until all the flavors are well combined. And now that sauerkraut is in, we're going to let it cook for another 15 minutes with periodically adding some of that chicken broth that I told you earlier. We're also going to add some Hungarian paprika, black pepper, and bay leaves. And let it cook, as I said, for about 15 minutes, after which we're going to put it in a baking pan and put it in an oven. A great tip to consider is what time should you put Hungarian paprika in. The best time would be probably during the frying process of the bacon and onions, if you wish to have more flavor of paprika. If not, the good time to put paprika in is now. We added about 3/4 teaspoon of Hungarian paprika, and I'm adding about 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. 5 bay leaves. I'm going to mix it once again, and then we're going to start slowly adding chicken broth. It smells so good. It's a perfect dish for fall and winter meals. I mentioned that we're going to need approximately about 5 cups of a chicken broth, and you will need to add broth periodically. So as we cook it on a stove top and as we bake it in an oven. This is, by the way, unsalted. Same because sauerkraut has a lot of salt, and so does bacon. Okay, so take a peek in a pot and see how much moisture I have in a cabbage, and that's the amount of moisture we want to retain throughout the whole cooking. So just periodically keep adding the chicken broth. Okay, and now we are ready to set sauerkraut in a baking pan, and we're going to bake it for about an hour, hour and a half. The longer the better. The lower temperature the better. So 350 for about an hour. If you do it an hour and a half, you can end up having even better sauerkraut. If you look closely, you will see that we have quite a bit of moisture in the cabbage and sauerkraut, and that's good. This is very important. It's almost crucial for cabbage to come out creamy and good. Okay. To make it even better, we are going to add some bacon on the top, just like this, crisscross. And now let it cook while we cook some bratwurst. And here it goes, my bundle of joy. In the oven, 350 for an hour, hour and a half, depending how much time you have to cook. And now that this baby is safely tucked in, all we need is some good bratwurst and a cold beer. In the last phase of baking, we're gonna just open it up. As you see, I have opened my sauerkraut, just so the bacon can get a little more crunch. And I'm just gonna make sure that it has enough fluids, which is doing okay, but I will add a little bit more of broth. Just go around like this. Okay, let's just bring it out. It's nice and hot. It would be good to let it sit for 20 minutes or so and then serve it. But I have a hungry crew here, so we're just going to go ahead and help ourselves. This looks great. And if you do find that you have a little extra moisture lingering in your pot, it's okay. Just let it be, because eventually all the moisture and all the flavors will be absorbed with rice. This dish is great with barbecue pork chops or with bratwurst like what we have here. Just gonna do this. Nice hot piece of bread. We're ready for lunch.